Arun Sharma, Associate Professor from Department of Chemistry at Mahavir Institute of Technology and Science, Jharkhand. Today, I will discuss on the types of reactions in the organic chemistry, and in this presentation, we will also learn about the basic concepts of organic reaction mechanisms with suitable examples. In this presentation, we will also learn about free radical reactions and aromatic electrophilic substitution reactions. We are using here very simple approach to understand this topic. As you already learned in your previous classes that basically there are 4 types of organic reactions. Their names are as follows. First is addition reactions, second is substitution reactions, third is elimination reactions, and last one is rearrangement reactions. One by one, we will discuss these reactions in our coming slides. What is addition reaction? First of all, we will discuss about addition reactions. Addition reactions occur when two add together to form only one product with no atoms left over. You can see here that when two different reactants A and B reacts to give only one product AB, such type of reactions are called addition reactions. In an addition, all parts of adding reagent appear in the product, two molecules will become one. Here you can also see some examples when in the first example, ethylene molecule reacts with bromine in presence of carbon tetrachloride that will give you the product 1,2-dibromoethane. In the second example, ethylene reacts with halo acids like HCl, HBr, etc. to give the saturated haloalkanes as the addition product. There are so many examples of addition reactions in organic chemistry, but the basic concepts in all types of these reactions is always remain same. Now come to the substitution reactions. Substitution reactions occur when two starting materials exchange groups to form two new products. Here you can see this example, AB and CD reacts to give the products AC and BD. In a substitution, one group replaces with another one. Here some examples you can see, and different colors are used to understand the mechanism more clear. HCl reacts with NaOH, which is a simple reaction to give the product NaCl and H2O. Here HCl atom is replaced by hydroxyl ions. In the second example, when COCl reacts with hydroxyl ions to give the product COOH, that means the red color hydroxyl ions replaced chloride ion. In the third example, methane reacts with chlorine, that is a free radical reaction, and one hydrogen atom is substituted by the chlorine to give the product methyl chloride. Now come to the elimination reactions. Elimination reactions are just opposite to the addition reactions. In the elimination reaction, as you see in this example, AB dissociates to give and split into two to give the two products A and B separately. Here you can also see from this reaction red color bonds which is connected with the carbon atom by the hydrogen and bromine respectively, and in elimination in the presence of base to give the product, and that is the unsaturated product ethylene and HBr. Elimination reaction gives us a method for preparing compounds with double bond and triple bonds, since we can say that two sigma bonds are broken and a pi bond is formed between the two adjacent atoms. So it is clear that addition and elimination reactions are exactly opposite. A pi bond is formed in elimination reactions, whereas a pi bond is broken in addition reactions. So in this image, you can clearly see that a pi bond is formed, and from saturated compounds, we get the unsaturated product in case of elimination, but in reverse, in case of addition, we get saturated compounds from unsaturated reactants, and the pi bond is broken in case of addition reactions. Now come to the rearrangement reactions. Rearrangement reactions occur when one starting materials form one product with a different arrangement of atoms and bonds. So here you can see in this example, in acidic medium, this compound rearrange and the isomeric product of the starting material is formed. So this is the substituted alkene, and in this type of reactions, we can see that reactions happens in different mechanisms. Now come to the assignment. Student can easily find out which type of reaction is this. That is the addition reaction, elimination reaction, substitution reaction, or rearrangement reaction. In the first example, if you see that methyl bromide reacts with potassium hydroxide to give the product methyl hydroxide, that is methanol, and potassium bromide, that is the substitution reaction. In the second example, bromoethane gives the product ethylene and hydrobromic acid, that is the elimination reaction. In the third example, that is the addition reaction, because you know that the elimination reaction and addition reaction are just opposite to each other, and in case of addition reaction the addition product is formed, and in case of elimination reactions products are split and to give the two separate products. In the fourth example, like ethyl bromoethane reacts with sodium cyanide to give the product propanonitrile, that is the substitution product, because bromine is substituted by the cyanide ions and sodium bromide is also formed. In the last example, cyclohexanol in presence of acid catalyst to give the product cyclohexene, and that is the elimination reaction. So we can find out what type of reaction is this, like addition, elimination, substitution, or rearrangement. Now come to the basic concepts of organic reaction mechanisms. The organic reaction mechanisms describe the reaction, how so it describes the chemical reaction which are and so the reaction is a constitution of how the electrons, the bonds, the reactants of reactants under given set of conditions. So during a course of a chemical reaction, chemical bonds in the reactants are broken and products are formed. Breaking of the bonds, one electron remains with each product fragment, and unsymmetrically bonding electrons remain with one product fragment. So the symmetry gives cleavage. So in the coming slide, we will learn how symmetry is and how the unsymmetrically breaking bonds. So this slide clearly that the two type of arrows are shown here by the red color. Fish hook arrow. The fish hook arrow shows that the bond is symmetrically broken and the bonding electrons shared between the two atoms equally, and the free radicals are formed, and the free radicals can simply bond and the species charged species are called ions and negative charged species are anions. And species are the free are and they are so in the slide we explain how the reactions we want to react and group as well as the so not and involve of methyl chloride and HCl. Again, carbon hydrogen bond and hydrogen and chlorine, a bond between hydrogen and chlorine that is found and chlorine will bond and clearly at 104, that means the weaker Cl-Cl bond that will break first to initiate this reaction, and this reaction is initiated by either sunlight or heat. So this above reaction involves three steps. First is the initiation step, second is the propagation step, and last one is the termination step. One by one, we will discuss about these steps. First, we come to the initiation step. The initiation step in the chlorination of methane is the homolytic cleavage of the chlorine into two chlorine free radicals. That is the represented by the two fish hook arrows, as we understood in our previous slides. And the 58 kilocalorie mole energy is required, which is obtained from the ultraviolet light. And to get the two chlorine free radicals, these are chlorine free radicals are highly reactive, unstable, and responsible to initiate this reaction. The energy required for the homolytic cleavage of chlorine molecule is 58 kilocalorie per mole, that is provided by the ultraviolet light or heat, and halogenation of the alkanes does not take place in the dark. So this is the essential condition to for this reaction. That means this reaction only occurs in the presence of sunlight or heat. In the dark condition, this reaction is not possible. Now come to the second step, that is the propagation step. The unstable chlorine free radical, the strong carbon hydrogen bond to break homolytically in the propagation step. So in these reactions, there are fish hook arrows are only represented, and there are no double-sided arrows because the free radicals are formed from the free radicals. So in this propagation step, a free radical generates another free radical. Like here in this reaction, you can see that the chlorine free radical reacts with the methane to give the product methyl free radical and HCl. This methyl free radical is also very reactive, that reacts with another chlorine molecule to give the product methyl chloride and chlorine free radical. This chlorine free radical step all over again reacts with the methane molecule to give the methyl free radical, and this methyl free radical again reacts with the chlorine molecule to give the product. So again and again this reaction occurs, step all over again. And here you can see that the methyl free radical is also reactive. In the second propagation, it abstracts a chlorine from the chlorine molecule to form another chlorine free radical. One radical generates another free radical. So this step yields one of the products of the overall reaction, chloromethane. This step also generates a new chlorine free radical that can abstract a hydrogen from atom from another methane molecule and starts the propagation step all over again. Hence, once the sequence has been initiated, it becomes a self-sustaining cycle of repeating steps 1 and 2, making the overall process a chain reaction. So this is the chain reaction. As we learn the nuclear chain reactions, that means the uranium, when it attacks by the thermal neutrons, that will give the some nuclear energy, and the neutrons again regenerated, and these neutrons again attack on the uranium nucleus to give the nuclear energy and the neutrons. So this is the chain reactions, and we get the free radicals and also the products. So in the third step, that is the termination step, and we will discuss about how this reaction is terminated, because the propagation cycle is broken by the termination reaction. So without termination, this reaction cannot be stopped, and occasionally two radicals might collide and combine to form a stable product. Here two radicals collide, two radicals, when they collide to form a stable product by their coupling, when that happens, the reaction cycle is broken and the chain is ended, or we can say terminated. Removing radicals from the reaction mechanism without generating any new radicals stops the reaction. So this is because of the coupling of the free radicals, a stable product is formed, that is our methyl chloride. So this is the mechanism of the free radical reactions. Now we come to the resonance structure of the benzene, because in the coming slides we will discuss about aromatic electrophilic substitution reactions. So first we have to know what is the structure of the molecular orbital picture of the benzene. As we know that the benzene is two shows resonating structures, and that these are called Kekulé structures, and the 6 pi electrons are delocalized all over 6 carbon atoms, which are represented by the pink color orbitals, that are the localized pi electrons, and after resonance, which gives the delocalized pi electrons, and the delocalization of the pi electrons, that is represented as a cloud in the benzene, or each carbon in the benzene ring is sp2 hybridized, and the unhybridized p orbital perpendicular to the ring, which overlaps around the ring, and the bond angle of the carbon hydrogen and the carbon carbon in the benzene molecule is 120 degree, and these are the sp2 hybridized orbitals. And here you can also see that the blue color electron clouds are up and down to the benzene molecule, that is a planar molecule. So that is the aromatic molecule. And what is the condition for the aromaticity? That means the aromatic compounds fulfilling these conditions, that will be the aromatic compounds. That aromatic compounds should be cyclic, planar, stable, completely conjugated, and follows the Huckel rule. Huckel rule is when the organic compound or the moiety contains 4n plus 2 pi electrons, that compounds are called aromatic compounds. Anti-aromatic compounds are also cyclic, planar, completely conjugated, and follows 4n pi electrons. That means if the number of pi electrons are in the multiple of 4, these compounds are generally unstable compounds like cyclobutadiene, and the non-aromatic compounds lacking one or more of the 4 requirements. Any of the 4 requirements they lack, that compounds cannot be come into the category of aromatic or anti-aromatic. These compounds are non-aromatic compounds. Here you can also see here some examples like cyclopentadienyl anion having 6 pi electrons, contains 4n plus 2 pi electrons. If you put the number of electrons and that means number of n is 1, put the value of n is 1, that means you get the 4 into 1 plus 2, that means 6 pi electrons. And here you can see in the cyclopentadienyl anion there are 6 pi electrons. And in case of in the second example, cyclopentadienyl cation, there are only 4 pi electrons, and this is the multiple of 4n pi electrons. So this is a anti-aromatic compound. In the third example, cyclopentadienyl radical, these are only 5 pi electrons are there and does not contain either 4n or 4n plus 2 pi electrons. So this is coming to the category of non-aromatic compound. So the aromatic compound should be cyclic, planar, or completely conjugated. This is also the same condition for the anti-aromatic compound, but the aromatic compound follows 4n plus 2 pi electron, the Huckel rule, but the anti-aromatic compound 4n pi electrons rule. So what about fullerene? Fullerene is aromatic compound, non-aromatic compound, or anti-aromatic compound? Because you see in the structure of fullerene, that is the carbon 60 molecule, there are 20 hexagons and 12 pentagons, and they are joined together. And C60 is a completely conjugated molecule, but this compound is non-aromatic because this compound is non-planar. And we know that there are 4 conditions for the aromaticity, and it lacks one of the condition. So because of this compound is non-aromatic. We cannot say this is anti-aromatic because this compound should be planar in case of anti-aromatic compound or aromatic compound, but this compound is non-planar. That means this compound is either not aromatic or nor anti-aromatic. So this compound is non-aromatic compound. Now come to the aromatic electrophilic substitution. That means the reactions in which the electrophile attacks on the benzene ring to give the substituted product, that reactions are called aromatic electrophilic substitutions. And in the coming slides, we will see some examples of the aromatic electrophilic substitution reactions. What are electrophiles? Electrophiles are the electron deficient species are called electrophiles, which are represented by the E+. E+ positive signs represents the electrophile. That means they are electron loving. Electron philes loves to bind with the electron rich molecules. In the opposite, we can say that the nucleophiles are the electron rich species, which are represented by the negatively charged nucleophiles. And we can also write that there will be the lone pair of electrons present on the nucleophiles, and nucleophiles loves to bind with the electron deficient molecules. Benzene, as we all know, that it is an electron rich compound, therefore it can easily gives the electrophilic substitution reaction. Now here we can see the mechanism. This mechanism is divided into two steps, step 1 and step 2. Step 1 is the slow step and step 2 is the fast step. In the step 1, electrophile attacks on the benzene nucleus and abstracts pi bond electrons, and the positive charge appears on the adjacent carbon atom where the electrophile is just adjacent to its carbon atom, and this positive charge is neutralized by the pi bond electrons and to the nearby carbon bonds, and this shift to the positive charge comes to the para position, and due to this resonance stabilization, we get this resonance structures. And in the step 2, this removal of the proton, and the hydrogen is gives its electron to the benzene nucleus to complete the conjugation, and we get the electrophilic substitution product, and the proton is removed. Now there are some examples of aromatic electrophilic substitution reactions. First is nitration, then sulfonation, after that bromination, and last one is alkylation. In the nitration, we get the nitrobenzene. In presence of nitric acid and sulfuric acid, we get nitrobenzene. But when the benzene molecule reacts with sulfur trioxide and H2SO4 in presence of sulfuric acid, that is called sulfonation, and we get the benzene sulfonic acid as a product. In case of bromination, bromine molecule reacts in presence of ferric bromide, and we get the bromobenzene. That is the also aromatic electrophilic substitution reaction. And alkylation, in case of alkylation, ethyl chloride reacts with aluminum in presence of aluminum chloride, reacts with benzene molecule to give the product ethyl benzene. So these are the types of aromatic electrophilic substitution reactions, and these are the some examples, commonly known examples. Now one by one we will understand the mechanism of each reaction. First we will discuss about the mechanism of nitration. First of all, we will see the formation of the electrophile. Nitric acid in presence of sulfuric acid reacts to give the nitronium ion. There is positive charge onto the nitrogen atom, and it behaves like a electrophile. In the step 1, this is the slow step, the electrophile attacks on the benzene nucleus to give the resonance stabilized structures, and we get the intermediate cation. And this intermediate cation in the second step, that is the fast step, proton is easily removed, and we get the product nitrobenzene. So this is the mechanism, and the transfer of electrons of the pi bond is represented by the double-sided arrow. And we already discussed in our previous slides, there are fishhook arrow and double-sided arrow. That means both the electrons are transferred, that is represented by the double-sided arrow. Now come to the mechanism of sulfonation. First we see how the electrophile is formed. Sulfuric acid gives the hydronium ion, SO4 minus, that is the bisulfate ion, and the sulfur trioxide. That is sulfur trioxide works as a powerful electrophile, because the oxygen atoms bonded with the sulfur, there are highly electronegative oxygen atoms, and these are electron acceptor, which creates the electron deficient center at the sulfur atom, and this sulfur which is present in the form of sulfur trioxide in the step 1, that attacks on the benzene nucleus and takes its 2 electrons in the pair, and we get the resonance stabilized structure. And in the second step, this hybrid structure, the proton transfers to the benzene sulfonic acid, and we get this benzene sulfonic acid as a desired product. Now come to the mechanism of the bromination. In the formation, first of all, we will see the formation of the electrophile, because this step is very important step, and we should know how the electrophile is formed, because if the electrophile is not formed, it will not attack in the first step to the benzene nucleus. So that is the very critical step, and the bromine reacts with the ferric bromide. This complex is more electrophilic than bromine alone, because there is the positive charge at the bromine atom, and this bromine ferric bromide complex works as a electrophile and attacks on the benzene nucleus to give the resonance stabilized structures. Positive charge delocalized throughout the benzene nucleus, and the pi bond electrons also delocalized onto the nucleus of the benzene ring. And in the second step, the proton is easily removed and we get the product bromobenzene, and the proton is removed. So this is the electrophilic substitution because the bromine is substituted hydrogen as a proton. Now come to the last mechanism, that is our mechanism of alkylation. Formation of electrophile we will see first. In the ethyl chloride in presence of aluminum chloride, that will give the product ethyl carbocation and tetrachloroaluminate ion. In the step 1, that is the ethyl carbocation first attack on the benzene nucleus to gives the product, and that is a resonance hybrid, and this positive charge is delocalized, and the transfer of pi electrons throughout the benzene ring stabilize this structure. And the second step, the proton is easily removed, and we get the ethyl benzene as our desired product. So our product is easily formed, and the electrophilic aromatic substitution reactions occurs in 2 steps. Like if you see in the case of nitration, alkylation, bromination, or sulfonation, all the mechanism is almost same. And the electrophile first attack on the benzene nucleus to gives the resonance stabilization structures, and this resonance stabilization structure after in the second step, that is the fast step, that will easily remove the proton to get the desired product. Thanks all of your kind attention, and this presentation is very much useful because that is the 5th unit of our engineering chemistry, organic reaction mechanisms. So we should know, to start this unit, we should know about the how many types of reactions are there, what about the free radical reactions, and what about the aromatic electrophilic substitution reaction, how the mechanism it follows. So that is the very important presentation. Please watch this video very carefully and ask me if there are any problems. You can send me email, or there is my WhatsApp also, and my college email ID. You can also send me the mail, whatever your problems are there, and that are mostly welcome, and I will give you the possible solutions for this one. Thank you very much.